What's going on, everyone? This is Chris on Around the ATL side notes. Hopefully, everyone is having a good weekend. And tonight, we're going to be talking Hawks versus Knicks. But before we get started, it's been a while since I've been on the air. A lot of stuff's been going on. My co host, he's continuing to assist his mom with her battle with cancer. So our schedules have been difficult at best to be able to do a joint show. My schedule as well has been very hectic as of late, and it's about to change again going into next week. Yesterday I just had a basketball tournament that I participated in where I got injured right at the end of the game. So I've been in pain pretty much all day. Trying to walk has been very difficult, but I say I'm gonna go ahead and do this show because I was supposed to do it earlier in the week and never got around to it. So want to get started. Thanks for all those who might tune in later. I just posted the show not 20 minutes ago, so hopefully I'll have a few who might not be doing anything and might check out the show a little bit. I did invite a lot of people, so hopefully they tune in from Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or wherever they might want to watch some Hawks talk. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTM Worldwide Radio page there as you see it scrolling across the ticker. You can also follow on Twitter, IMTM Radio, and also my co-host Jordan Jackson at Jordan23 ATL. Also, Facebook and Instagram, IMTM Worldwide Radio, and on Facebook and Instagram, that is. So go check that out. I really would appreciate it if you did that. Just one person, just if you like what you see tonight, share it with at least one other Atlanta Hawks fan or an Atlanta sports fan because we cover all sports. I know we've been behind on a lot since the draft, especially. We did do a draft show, two of them, for the Falcons, but we cover all Atlanta sports and Georgia sports as well. Don't forget that. High school, college, semi pro, we cover it all. So if you're a real fan of Atlanta sports, make sure you follow us on the IMTM Worldwide Radio YouTube channel. It will really help us out. Now, before I start talking about this Knicks game, the most recent game I actually reviewed was out of order because I had promised I would finish out the regular season and I was going to start from April 2nd's Dallas Maverick game where the Hawks lost by 2 points because we couldn't stop Anthony Davis. But because of the playoffs, I ended up having to do the Luka game, the Luka game, which he scored 73 points. If you don't remember what that looked like, let me show it to you again. Boom. There it is. 73 points, 25 of 33, 8 threes. We let one person hit 8 threes in a game, but it's all one person's fault. If you go back and review that particular game, you know that's not true by all reasons. So, again, if you dare, go watch that particular review. It was out of order. I went on and knocked it out. Tonight, we're going to concentrate back onto the end of the regular season for the Atlanta Hawks. All right. So that being said, let's see if we can get this kind of set up a little bit here. Hopefully I got everything right. I don't think I forgot anything this time around. I think I got everything. So, by the way, the rest of the games I will be doing will include the April 6th game against Utah, April 8th against Orlando, April 10th against the Nets, April 11th against Philly, April 13th against Orlando, April 15th against Orlando again, and finally the entire Miami Heat play-in game. Now, if you remember, in that 73-point game, I also did the overtime portion of that Miami Heat loss in the play-in. So go watch that if you want to, or you can wait until the next couple of weeks where I get to that Miami game and I do the whole game review. So after the Dallas loss by 2 points, the Hawks really needed to beat the Knicks. They really needed to beat the Knicks. It was an Eastern Conference game. It was a game that would have given them some momentum against a team that obviously was going to be in the playoffs. The Hawks were still trying to get some seeding in there. They still had the Magic to play for 3 times. 3 more times they were going to play the Magic. So beating the Knicks in this next game after getting beat by 2 points by Dallas was very important, but it did not happen. Ultimately, why didn't it happen is what we're going to talk about tonight. The Knicks won that game 121 to 105. KAT had 30 points by himself, 10 of 15 shooting, that's 66%. 2 of 3 from 3, that's 66%. Who was guarding KAT? OG had 24 points on 9 of 17 shooting, that's 52%. Who was guarding OG? Bridges had 20 points on 9 of 13 shooting, that's 69%. Who was guarding him? Brunson didn't even play in this game. So how did we lose this game by so many points? The Knicks had 54 points in the paint. They only had 8 second chance points, but they did have 16 fast break points. They hit 15 threes at 51%. Now for the Atlanta Hawks in this game, Zach had 12 points. Moji had 6 points. Okongwu had 6 points. Dyson had 12. Trae had 16 points and 9 assists. Let me stop right here real quick. Do you know that Trae Young took 20 or more shots 29 games in the regular season out of the 76 that he played in? 29 games. He took 20 or more shots. Relatively, that's not a lot. Is it? We'll get to that in a second. But here are the results of the games as far as what he did shooting 20 or more times. And you let me know, in NBA terms, is this bad or good? 29 points, 11 assists, 28.6 assists, 36 points, 11 assists, 28 points, 10 assists, 25 points, 12 assists, 29 points, 15 assists, 29 points, 12 assists, 31 points, 8 assists, 35 points, 12 assists, 36 points, 8 assists, 28 points, 13 assists, 38.6 assists, 38 points, 19 assists, 35 points, 14 assists, 24.7 assists, 32 points, 12 assists, 34 points, 17 assists, 27.6 assists, 32 points, 12 assists, 34 points, 17 assists, 27.6 assists, 28 points, 11 assists, 43 points, 5 assists, 33 points, 9 assists, 34 points, 10 assists, 22 points, 11 assists, 31 points, 20 assists, 35 points, 13 assists, 23 points, 10 assists, 25 points, 12 assists, 35 points, 15 assists, 38 points, 10 assists. All of these games should have been wins, and they were not. Some of them were, but not enough. Maybe Trae should have been passing the ball a little bit less and just shot the ball the whole time, right? One of these games, the opposing team scored 40 points in the fourth quarter. One of these games, 3 players in the starting lineups for the Hawks had 19 points combined. One of these games, the Hawks lost by 1 point. Clint was 3 of 10 in that game and 1 of 4 from the free throw line. We lost by 1 point. One of these games, Clint had 8 points, Zach had 7, and Hunter had 3 points on 1 of 12 shooting. One of these games, the Hawks lost by 5 points. Hunter had 4 points in 29 minutes. One of these games, in another 1-point loss, Wemby had 42 points. But 2 threes were allowed in the fourth quarter, not by Trae, that got the game to overtime, which we then lost subsequently. One of these games was another 1-point loss in overtime. Moji had 2 points. Nobody could hit free throws. One of these games, the starting lineup had 11, 11, 2, 10, and 38. Guess who had the 38 points? We lost that game by 6. Let me read it again. 11 points, 11 points, 2 points, 10 points, and then Trae with 38. We lost by 6. One of these games was a 5-point loss. Opposing team hit 23s, had 64 points in the paint on top of that. One of these games was a 6-point loss. 2 starters had 13 points combined. One of these games was a 2-point loss. Hawks left 40 points on the floor from missed shots generated from Trae Young. By the way, that was the Dallas game that I just reviewed with Anthony Davis. One of these games ended our season as the Hawks only scored 8 points in overtime, which Trae had 5 of them. And we gave up 17 points in overtime, and Trae gave up 3 of them. What about the other 14 points? The Atlanta Hawks lost 24 games by 10 points or less, many of them 5 points or less, several 1-point losses, as you just saw. By comparison, do you know how many 20-point or more shot games LaMelo Ball had this season? 30 of the 47 games he played, he shot that many. And 7 of those games, he took 29 or more shots. He hit 40% from the floor, 33% from 3, but he's the best point guard in the East, per some of y'all. How is that? I hope y'all go back to the beginning and watch what I just said, because it's crazy monumental. Let's get back to the Knicks game. Niang had 13 points on 5 of 16 shooting. LeVert had 14. Barlow had 2. Mann had 14. Vitt had 8. And Wallace had 2 points. The Hawks had 14 threes at 31% shooting. They had 50 points in the paint, 11 second chance points, 17 fast break points. Rebounds, both teams were pretty much even. Knicks had more assists. Hawks had more steals and blocks. Turnovers were even. But the Knicks were 51% from 3, while the Hawks were 31% from threes. And also the Knicks were better on free throws. So the newest category in my review is points left on the floor from shots generated from Trae Young. Let's look. First quarter, here's the first shot.
With Brunson on the injured list, Larry Shaman has come in. And here's a 3 on the wing by LeVert, tipped out to...
So explain to me how that's Trae's fault that LeVert missed that 3. Let's go to the third quarter.
Niang. Oh, that's a block. And guess who? Anunoby. Right down. Man.
And you see what it led to? Here's another shot in the third quarter.
Barlow. And the rebound secured by Achua.
OG didn't even jump at him, did he? So how is that Trae's fault that he passed the ball to Barlow and Barlow missed that 3? Here's fourth quarter.
Niang.
That's a tough 3 for Niang. He's a catch.
Knicks couldn't play a better game. Niang.
So if you remember, I told you that what? Let me see if I can find it real quick. Niang had 13 points in this game on 5 of 16 shooting. You just saw some of it. Why is that Trae's fault? Can anybody explain that to me? Someone message on if you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on YouTube, you can tweet on Twitter, but tell me why that's Trae's fault. The Hawks left 19 points on the board in this particular game from missed shots generated from Trae Young. Now, no, I'm not expecting all shots to be made when you're past the ball, but some of them need to be, don't you think? Because other teams do it to us all the time. But the point is, it's 19 points that we left on the board in this game, in a game where, let's see now, let me go back up here real quick. In a game where Trae had 9 assists, we left 19 more points on the board. Would the 19 points have made a difference? Well, if we actually did score all 19 of them, we win the game 124 to 121. 17 of those points, we win the game 122 to 121. 16 points, we're tied, and at least we go into overtime. But we left all 19 points on the board from shots generated from Trae Young outside of the 9 assists that he did have. I don't know, guys. I just don't understand how you blame Trae Young for other people missing their own shots when he generated the shot for you. He created the opportunity for you. He passed it to you and kept passing it to you. Again, in the Dallas game against the Dallas Mavericks on April 2nd, the Hawks left 40 points on the board. 40. We lost by 2. We couldn't hit 25 of those 40 points. We blow them out. We couldn't hit 10 of those points. We win by a couple, but we win. Right? I just told you earlier, I'm going to go back to it again, but some people are not listening. The Hawks lost 24 games in the 2024 season by 10 points or less. Many of those games by 5, several 1-point losses, and I listed some of them to you. in games that Trae was getting 36-8, 28-13, 38-13, 38-19, 35-14. Some of those games were losses, guys, but it's Trae's fault. Anyway, let's get into the game now officially. So, first quarter, let me get down to it. So, what are some of the things I always talk about in my game reviews? Getting back on defense, stopping the ball on fast breaks, getting back on defense, right? Pick and rolls, rotating, right? And communication on defense, blocking out, staying attached to your man. I talk about all these things for the last 2 years. I've been doing shot for shot reviews, right? And my biggest question is, how come these things aren't being fixed from the bench? Because there's tape. There's literally the tape that I'm looking at and showing you. The Atlanta Hawks organization has it, and we never see on a night-to-night, game-to-game, week-to-week, month-to-month basis any adjustments. And I don't understand that, because we lose 24 games a season by 10 points or less. Imagine if we won half of those. We'd be a 50-win team forever. The Hawks give up 118 points a game. Guys. My bad. No, wait. Yes, we score 118 points a game, which is 5th in the NBA, but we give up 119 points. What if we only gave up 109 points a game, guys? We'd be a dominant team, wouldn't we? Scoring has never been the problem. I mentioned that because of some of the trade proposals and things of that nature, but we might get into that in another show. Let's get into the game. So first quarter. Never go under the screen, right? Trae does, and DeLon makes Trae pay. This is on Trae. But also, they could have just switched. I always talk about this. And this is what I talk about when I play basketball. We got to talk about this before the game starts. Are we staying with man, which means we got to fight through the screen, or are we going to just switch so that way nobody is left open? But none of that happens in this first shot by the New York Knicks. Watch this.
In that first meeting in November, scored 33 points.
Coming off Rookie of the Month this month for the Eastern Conference.
You see what happened? Trae goes under. Nobody pops up. Wide open three. I give those 3 points to Trae Young. He shouldn't have went under, right? Second shot. Off a block shot, fast break has occurred, right? Nobody stops the ball. Nobody knows where it's supposed to be, right? Trae is actually back. Mo G is tracking. Had a block shot attempt. Didn't get it. He should have, though, because he was right there. He was running like he was going to block it, and he doesn't block it. I don't know what happened, but here's the second shot, first quarter.
Back out to Ricochet. Visits the paint. That one's blocked by Anunoby. Up to DeLon Wright. Mo Gay trying to track him down, but can't stop the lay-in.
Why did he go with his left hand rather than his strong hand? I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, they scored. Third shot, Bridges has the ball. Dyson is on him. He gets picked by Hart. Okongwu picks him up. Bridges drives to the basket. Third shot.
They are up 2.5 on Indiana. Pacers blew out Utah last night. Bridges to the glass.
Wonderful left-hand finish.
So who gave up those points? Did Trae give up those points, or did he drive on Okongwu all the way to the basket and lay it up? Just checking on that, because visually, there's people out there who would say all these points are being given up by one person. But we're going to get to the end. I'm going to tell you how many points everybody gave up once again, and we're going to see who it is, right? Because that's why I do these, because there's more than one person on the floor. So far, can't you count how many people were on the floor at the time? There's 5 people on the floor, right? 5 people on the floor, right? Not one, right? Fourth shot, Bridges has the ball again. KAT sets a pick, and Dyson switches as he releases to Mo G. Now, Bridges passes to KAT. Mo G leaves Bridges, and he ends up hitting a 3 because he stays in the paint rather than staying with his man. Trae has DeLon. Okongwu tries to come out, but it's too late. And again, this is on Mo G for creating the defensive gap in the first place. This is the 4th shot in the first quarter.
Bridges back to KAT. Outside that 3-point line, takes Dyson Daniels inside. Bridges corner 3, good.
See what happens when you leave your man? You create the defensive gaps, not the other person. Stay with your man. It doesn't matter what the other 4 players are doing. You stop your man from scoring and you give your team a chance to win, because that's what I do. I was going up against some pretty decent players yesterday near Atlanta. I think we were in Hampton, Georgia, I guess. My guys the people I was assigned to only scored when someone was able to pick me off of them. That was the only time they scored. Just letting y'all know. I played pretty good yesterday. Anyway, 5th shot. KAT hits a 3 on Mo G. 5th shot, first quarter.
13-12 Knicks. Bridges. Karl Anthony touching the logo and drills a 3.
Now, yeah, we can say that's ridiculously far and Mo G's, but no, that's your guy. You got to stop him. You got to contest the shot. You got to do something, because KAT can't hit that shot. There's tape if they review it. Anyway, 6th shot. After you shoot, you're automatically on defense. Hart beats Trae back. Watch this.
Trae sidesteps on Hart. Missed this one. Bridges rifles it ahead. Hart goes inside and scores, and Hart got hit in the face.
Now, if y'all know, I've been talking about getting back on defense for a while. Trae doesn't do it here, but the entire team never does it as well. But those are on Trae. Did you hear me? Those are on Trae. What did I just say? Hart beats Trae back. As soon as you shoot, you're back on defense. And Trae kind of just lollygag. But that's what the whole team does. The whole team just kind of backsteps, and they're just looking around. They don't call out, hey, my man beat me, pick up my man. They don't run, sprint. No. They just kind of get back for the sake of getting back. And that's the whole team. And that's why we give up so many points on fast breaks. But nobody listens to that. Nobody wants to see that. But they're happy that Trae gave up some points right there, I'm sure. They're hooping and hollering. Oh, there it is, Kristen. I say it every game review, though. Everybody who gives up points, I talk about what they did and how it happened. Some of y'all just don't choose to watch. 7th shot. O leaves KAT. You know what happens when Okongwu leaves KAT? I'm going to show you.
And not only the three-point shooting, his ability, Nate, to get into the paint and confidently score against bigger opposition. Nice feed. Karl Anthony gets the reverse.
Now, I'm going to play this one again because I really want you to look at Okongwu through the whole possession. Watch.
And not only the three-point shooting, his ability, Nate, to get into the paint and confidently score against bigger opposition. Nice feed. Karl Anthony gets the reverse.
That's what happens almost in all of our games. We just have people releasing people for no reason. There was no reason for Okongwu to let KAT leave like that. He just let him do it. He let him do that. But anyway, y'all don't care about that, do you? 8th shot, don't go under the screen. I've already said that once. First shot of the game, right? Someone has to step up. Stay with your man or switch. But it doesn't happen again. So Dyson has KAT. KAT drives. Zach is the help defender. Comes too late. Okongwu leaves his man too late. This is on Dyson, though, because he went under. He needed to come back on Hart. Okongwu could have stayed on KAT. Since he didn't, we give up a layup. 8th shot, first quarter.
4-point Knick lead. Spin move and a beauty. He is so talented offensively.
Yes, he is, man.
He ain't talented offensively. Get out of here. 9th shot. Here's another missed shot. Nobody stops the ball. OG goes all the way down the court and gets a layup on Zach. Amazing.
Won that time. Hart got him, blocked him. Rebound New York. Anunoby. OG. Oh boy,
that's that big strong body of Anunoby.
Now I want y'all to check something. Let me play this again. I want y'all to note something because I'm about to do something here. Yeah. So I'm gonna play this one again. It was at the 9th shot. Watch who's on the floor. Okay, it's important.
Won that time. Hart got him, blocked him. Rebound New York. Anunoby. OG. Oh, boy.
That's that big, strong body of Anunoby.
Again, nobody stops the ball. Nobody calls out no assignments or nothing. OG went all the way down the court on a not even really a fast break. Nobody was running fast, but he scored. But here's the note. Trae Young wasn't on the floor. So if Trae Young is so bad and he's the reason that the Hawks as a team are so bad, explain that right there. But explain this possession as well. 10th shot, first quarter, off a turnover, fast break again. Again, nobody stops the ball. And again, the same player gets a layup, this time on 2 Hawks. But I'm giving this as that because he could have stopped the ball, and he didn't. 10th shot, first quarter.
A couple of practice days at Georgia Tech, and they look refreshed. Here's Anunoby once again. And to the basket. Anunoby and the Knicks taking it to the Hawks here.
OG is taking it to the Hawks here. Trae Young is still not on the floor, is he? Called the timeout, though. 11 shot, first quarter. Bridges has the ball now. Dyson has him. He gets a fake pick, doesn't use it. Kongu should be on this man. Bridges is driving. LeVert would have been the help defender, but of course we have 2 people on Bridges for some reason. Bridges kicks back out to Hart. And since Zach has left his man now, Hart passes to OG. Zach makes no effort to get around the body block, just stands there. And then OG hits a 3. Watch this. Amazing.
Well aware of the great barrier thief. Very complimentary of Dyson's defense before the game, how he's such a disruptor. Anunoby for 3.
He stood there and let him hit that shot. Notice again, Trae Young is still not on the floor, and they've hit how many consecutive shots? By the same person? So this is OG's 3rd straight field goal. Trae hadn't been on the floor since the 6:42 mark, by the way. You want to see what the score was right there? Let me show it to you again.
Well aware of the great barrier thief. Very complimentary of Dyson's defense before the game, how he's such a disruptor. Anunoby for 3.
It's 30-22. I want y'all to explain the effort right there. Because Trae wasn't out there to have him as your excuse, as some of you like to do. That's 3 straight shots from OG Anunoby. 12th shot, first quarter. DeLon has the ball now. He passes it to Hart. Hart pump fakes. He drives around the end and hits a turnaround fadeaway shot.
30-22 Knicks. Hart at the top of the 3-point ring. Niang defending. Turn, fire, hit. Josh Hart.
Trae Young is still not on the floor giving up any points right now, guys. 13th shot, first quarter. OG has the ball again. Man is on him. But on the drive, Barlow helps, and he can't stop him.
As you mentioned, Trae back in. Terrence Mann into the ball game for Atlanta, trying to get physical with Anunoby, but he goes right to the hole again.
Yeah, like I said, he's a physical guy, man.
Goes right to the hole again. He's a physical guy, man. That's what Dominique just said, right? 14th shot, first quarter. So what do I say on all my reviews? Hawks don't know how to play pick and roll. We don't know how to do it. We can't rotate. We can't switch. We can't block out. We can't get back on defense. I said this at the beginning of the review, right? Stop the ball on fast breaks. Where's the assignment? We don't communicate. So Payne has the ball. Bridges comes up but doesn't set a screen. Trae could have moved up to stay on Payne, or LeVert could have went under Trae because he had Payne. Neither of those things happened. Trae goes to Bridges. LeVert refuses to stay on his man. Bridges isn't in the post with Trae. He's on the perimeter. LeVert is creating a defensive gap for no reason here. Now, KAT is coming. Barlow is on him. On the movement, KAT is doing a give and go. Barlow should have stayed with Bridges, Trae on KAT, but that doesn't happen. Barlow comes to KAT, which leaves Bridges open. He gets the pass. Yang comes to help, but Bridges takes one dribble and hits a fadeaway on the Yang. I know that's a lot, but you need to see this for yourself. Last shot of the first quarter.
Towns. Quick pass inside, fadeaway by Bridges, and knocks it down.
See the ridiculousness of that? Let's go to the second quarter. First shot. Overall, this is not the worst possession. Except off the pick and roll, Payne is coming downhill. Vic pretends to play defense with his fake wave. Man gets a deflection, but until your team has the ball, you're still on defense. Barlow fouls KAT, and he hits the shot anyway. First shot, second quarter.
Shaman. And Terrence Mann got a hand on it, but right to KAT underneath, and Barlow slams into him. And it drops in, give him the basket.
What a lucky break there for Towns.
Second shot. Trae has a turnover. Bridges gets a layup. This is on Trae because all turnovers, for the most part, I'm going to attribute to the person turning the ball over. So this one is on Trae.
Shaman. And Terrence Mann got a hand on it, but right to KAT underneath, and Barlow slams into him. And it drops in, give him the basket.
What a lucky break there for Towns.
Sorry, played the same shot twice. Here we go.
Larry, if any NBA player could have a steal here by Shaman, we'll get to it as we watch Bridges take it up and in.
All right, so that's on Trae. Here's the third shot, second quarter. You got Precious driving from the three-point line on Okongwu. Tell me how this is Trae's fault.
No, it's no mistake. It's year 22, and he's still at the top of his game. That doesn't happen by accident.
Nice move by Precious Achiuwa for his first field goal.
Okongwu is the big. Trae wasn't on the Precious. Okongwu was, and Precious drove it from. You want to see it again?
No, it's no mistake. It's year 22, and he's still at the top of his game. That doesn't happen by accident.
Nice move by Precious Achiuwa for his first field goal.
Fourth shot, second quarter. Bridges drives from midcourt all the way to the basket. Trae isn't on the floor again. Dyson is bumped, but not picked. And then Okongwu gets a Gortat screen put on him. Now, this one I actually put on the whole team. I give these 2 points to the entire team on this one.
You know, all the guys, these games now starting to be just a little more intensity, a little more focus.
Oh, yeah. No, these games are getting more physical.
Fifth shot, again, nobody knows how to talk. If we did, we would win 10 extra games a season just off of communication alone. Dyson has Bridges. OG picks up Dyson, who isn't paying attention. So Mann had to get Bridges. Then Mann stops looking at his man, and Bridges dips behind him and gets a layup. Again, Trae Young is now on the floor.
It's added some intrigue at the end of the season. You know, normally, historically, you know, Chicago and Miami, who I think are 9th and 10th right now, would be battling for the 7 or 8. But you know, now you've got more teams that have something to play for. So it's pretty exciting, I think.
That happens every game. People leaving their man for no reason. No one says anything either. No one says, hey, pick up man. Hey, I got. No one says nothing. Sixth shot, second quarter. Once again, a shot is allowed because the big won't step up on the pick and roll. LeVert is picked, and he has to try to recover and contest because Okongwu has stepped backwards instead of engaging Payne. And watch his body language acting like it wasn't his fault. It enrages me.
As well as play on the inside.
Right, which is what we were talking about earlier with KAT. It makes it a little bit easier guard when you got bigs that can move like that.
Cameron Payne steps back and drills his first 3 of the game.
Seventh shot. Trae still is not on the floor. Again, if Trae is so bad, when he's not on the floor, the Hawks should be good, right? Right? Again, Okongwu leaves his man in favor of guarding Payne, and his man cuts to the basket and gets a dunk. This is a 7th shot, second quarter.
Again, they let guys play more.
Yes. And that's the best basketball there is.
And look at Achiuwa taking it home.
8th shot. Again, Okongwu leaves his man. He has KAT. Why does he leave him? I don't know. Someone answer me. Someone message and tell me why this happened. Okay? If LeVert can't stay with his man, oh, well, let the help defender come over. But you can't let KAT, the best offensive player on the floor, come free. 8th shot, second quarter.
5:20 left. Second quarter, 56-41. Kind of danger time here right for the Hawks as Karl Anthony Towns knocks it down.
10th shot. Bridges hits a 3 on Dyson.
I mean, that's a good look for us. We just got to make shots. You know, Knicks are hitting right now. We're having a rough time at it.
Bridges for 3. Timeout Atlanta.
11th shot. OG hits a 3 on the Yang.
Karl Anthony buried in the corner. Onyeka right in his shirt.
They won't get out of that corner there.
Yeah.
Two passes in the corner.
Here, you take it. Anunoby. Oh, come on.
Stop it.
Come on.
Stop it.
12th shot. Again, Okongwu leaves his man again for no reason at all.
Right off the bench into the booth today. 66-44. Anunoby sidesteps. Gives to Shaman. kick it back to Karl Anthony.
Oh, stop it.
This is ridiculous.
Stop it.
No, Bob, what's ridiculous is nobody wants to stay with their man. 13 shot. So who's LeVert guarding in this possession? I want y'all to look. Who is Niang guarding? I want y'all to look. And since LeVert was not guarding anybody, Niang has to rotate, even though he wasn't guarding anybody either. He had to rotate to number 3. I don't know his name. But the pass goes to Shaman. But this is on LeVert because he left his man initially. Watch this. Watch and pay attention.
They don't shoot many threes, but they shoot a great percentage of them. So that halftime talk is going to have some color to it.
Another one. Landry Shaman.
So you see what happens when you leave your man? That LeVert was guarding nobody, guys, and neither was Niang. I'm not even replaying that one. 14 shot. Niang leaves his man, and Hart hits a 3.
What I'm just so happy and so proud of Dyson for is that he was ready. He was ready. He got a huge opportunity, and he was ready.
Was that a shot contest? I will replay that one. Actually, I'm going to replay the last 2 shots.
They don't shoot many threes, but they shoot a great percentage of them. So that halftime talk is going to have some color to it.
Another one. Landry Shaman.
What I'm just so happy and so proud of Dyson for is that he was ready. He was ready. He got a huge opportunity, and he was ready.
That's the end of the second half. Or first half, I should say. Let's get into the third quarter. First shot. Now, this was interesting. KAT has the ball, okay? Trae has Hart. Niang has DeLon, but not really, because he's nowhere near him. He's standing in the paint. He's doing a Garrison Matthews right now, Niang is. Why? I don't know. Hart moves to the paint. Trae trails him, sees Niang, so he goes to DeLon because Niang is not on his man. Meanwhile, OG has gotten leverage on Dyson and cuts to the basket. KAT passes, and OG gets another layup because people keep leaving their man and create defensive gaps on our team. Watch first shot, third quarter.
Towns fends off Onyeka. Fastball to Hart. Inside to Anunoby. Good ball movement by the Knicks.
That wasn't good ball movement by the Knicks. It was created because Niang don't want to be. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't care. It don't matter. Something's wrong. Watch this. Watch Niang. Watch where Niang is.
Towns fends off Onyeka. Fastball to Hart. Inside to Anunoby. Good ball movement by the Knicks.
Niang had DeLon right. And the moment Trae saw that Niang was in the paint, all of a sudden he slided over to DeLon. But that whole possession should never have happened. But anyway, third quarter, my bad. Off the air ball by Niang, nobody stops the ball in a fast break. Nobody signs themselves to a man. OG gets the ball and goes around ZR and gets another dunk. Second shot.
Niang.
That's a block.
And guess who? Anunoby. Right down. Man. Peachtree. Timeout, Atlanta.
Fake the three-point shot there, Bob.
By the way, that was one of the 19 points that we left on the board from missed shots generated from Trae Young, by the way. Just to let you know. Third shot, third quarter. Why is that 90 feet from right? That was his man. Dyson was there. So he couldn't go forward, but because Zach was so far from his man, he gives DeLon an advantage. DeLon drives and gets a reverse. Congo is there as the big, should have been a block, but the opportunity isn't there at all if Zach had just stayed on his man. Third shot, third quarter.
You held a big meet and greet just behind our broadcast location at halftime. Wow, right.
Congo is right there, guys. I don't know what to say. Fourth shot. Remember, the Knicks had 54 points in the paint in this game, 16 fast break points. Here's another fast break, and OG beat the entire Hawks team, all 5 players. Moment Hart got the ball, Hawks are on defense. Zach had OG, and he let OG run. He didn't run hard down the court. You can't tell me that he did.
Midas touch, whatever they do, it goes in. Conversely, the Hawks can't buy one.
Knicks on an 8-0 run. Anunoby makes it 10 and looking for more.
Fifth shot, and he ain't playing the Garrison Matthews fake defense again, standing in the paint rather than standing with his man. There's no reason for him to be in the paint. And guess what? Hart hits another three somehow. Amazing.
Well, what he's doing, Bob, he's getting downhill. He's putting the pressure on the Hawks defense.
Bridges to the corner. Here's Hart for three. That's good.
Oh, man.
They cannot miss.
Can't miss.
Y'all sure y'all don't care about this? Y'all see who's giving up all these points, right? I'll add it up at the end. Don't worry. Sixth shot. Again, Hawks not talking on defense. But guess who had the line? Guess where he is standing? I'll just play. I don't even care.
At 100 points here in the next minute. Halfway through the third. This is DeLon Wright.
That's back-to-back threes Niang has given up because he don't want to stay on his man. That's his man. By the way, he gave up 4 threes. 4 threes so far. That's 12 points. Y'all sure that didn't make a difference in the 121-105 final score? One player give anyway. Seventh shot. KAT hits a fadeaway hook on Okongwu.
Two seconds on the clock. Towns goes down in a heap. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, Bob said, right? Eighth shot. I'm going to just play it. Y'all can watch this if you want to.
101-74, 3-minute mark. Hart in the middle to Towns. And he gets an and one on the Onyeka foul.
Ninth shot. Again, nobody wants to stay on their man. Barlow let Shamet hit a three. But really, LeVert actually left Hart. I'm giving this to LeVert because it made Barlow have to try to cover Shamet without no talking. Ninth shot, third quarter. Yep.
I think Krejci may be the best three-point shooter the Hawks have.
Very consistent.
Shamet. That's good.
See what no talking does and people leaving their man causes again, and nobody fixes it from the bench. It's never fixed. It's never fixed. And nobody cares about that. Here's the last shot of the third quarter.
Knicks working the clock down here at the end of the quarter. OG tumbled but got the pass over to Hart. 16-footer rolls in.
Oh, that's a tough shot. Tough shot.
Sure, it's a tough shot, Nick. I guess. I don't know. Last quarter. First shot, fourth quarter. Zach has KAT. But before that, Payne gets a screen from Precious. Mo G actually stays with him. Trae is on Payne. But Zach leaves KAT. Payne passes KAT the ball, and KAT drives by Zach to the basket for a layup.
Low dribble into the paint. Back up top to Towns. Ricochet made him put it on the floor, but it matters not. Towns scores again.
I guess Trae was supposed to block that somehow. Second shot. Just look at Niang. I'm not even going to describe this.
This much ground to make up. You almost have to forget about the twos and go exclusively with the threes. Shamet in the corner equalizes the three, his fourth of the game.
Guess who was supposed to be on Shamet that time? Niang. Yeah. Third shot. Again, Niang is not guarding nobody. Like Keith Sweat be saying, right? Nobody, right? He's supposed to be on Shamet. Fortunately, they didn't see him because off the pick and roll, Towns gets the ball. Bridges runs to the bucket because man turned his back to him because I guess he decided not to stay with his man either. And Bridges gets another layup. Watch this. Watch this whole possession.
They're going to be a problem.
Well, you get Brunson back out there. Bridges. Wow.
No, that was caused by Karl Anthony Towns. Good post up.
Fourth shot. KAT drives on Niang.
Niang right up on Karl Anthony Towns. KAT and one.
Man. And Bob, there's nothing you can do about that.
No, just don't have the size.
Nah, nothing you can do about that.
Why don't we have the size, though? Fifth shot. This is the last shot, last field goal that the Knicks made in this particular game.
6 o'clock start time tomorrow night at State Farm. We'll be on the air at 5:30 Eastern. 5 on the shot clock. Achua drops it in.
Isn't that amazing? Now, how many points did everybody give up in this game, Chris? Well, let's find out as I try to maneuver through this injury because I've been in pain this whole time. So LeVert in this game gave up 10 points. Terrence Mann, 4 points. I gave 2 to the team, which is the lowest I've ever given the team over these reviews in 2 years, actually. Barlow gave up 4 points. Zach gave up 15 points in this game. Dyson gave up 8. Moji gave up 10. Niang in 25 minutes gave up 21 points. He gave up 5 3-pointers in this game, and nobody cares about that. That's interesting. Okongwu gave up 20 points in this game. Want to know how many Trae gave up in this game? You saw one at the very beginning of the game, right? Then you saw the turnover, right? You saw another. He gave up 7 points in this game. So y'all tell me, y'all get your calculators out. Is 21 points more than 7? Is 20 points more than 7? Is 15 points more than 7? Is 10 points more than 7? Is 8 points more than 7? I believe it is. So if Trae Young is the reason and the cause for all Atlanta Hawks losses because of his defense and defense alone, explain this game. Where I showed you possession after possession after possession, where Trae Young wasn't even on the floor, and you got one singular person continually scoring bucket after bucket. Explain that. I wish somebody would. I wish somebody could, but I show it to you just so you see it for yourself. That there are multiple issues on this team. Yes, Trae gave up 7 points in this game. Sure did. But it wasn't 21 points. That killed us in this game. We lost 121 to 105. And on top of that, again, we left 19 points on the board from missed shots generated from Trae Young on top of all this. We should have blew out the Knicks in this game. Instead, we were on the blowout side of this game. Again, explain the Dallas Maverick game on April 2nd that I just reviewed. Trae Young didn't give up the most points in that game either. I showed you who did, and I show you possession for possession. Okongwu could do nothing with Anthony Davis, and we did not double team him not one damn time. Trae Young was supposed to stop Anthony Davis? That's interesting. That's an interesting concept. There are always 5 starters on the floor. And again, Trae Young is not the one who gives up the most points each night. He just isn't. I show it to y'all, and some of y'all still don't believe it. But I show it to you anyway, just so that there's a historical marker out there for anybody to type it in and be like, let me check out this game from April 5th against the New York Knicks. Man, OG kept on going down the lane. Man, he kept doing all this stuff and nobody could stop him. I showed it to y'all. The Hawks have to get better coaching on defense from their bench, which I've been saying we need a defensive coach, because if we had an actual defensive coach, half of this stuff wouldn't be possible. Half of this stuff wouldn't be possible because you would always stay with your man. We would know to actually pull up on a switch, on the pick and roll, I should say. Instead of the big backing up to the paint, they would engage the shooter and at least contest the shot. The shooter still might hit the shot, but at least you got a hand up. At least you got a hand up. For the Hawks, we never do that because we're already in the paint. We've already conceded the bucket. We concede so many points just because our bigs refuse to come up. They see their teammate picked and they go backwards, and then they blame the player. They blame their teammate. That's crazy. This is basketball. That is crazy to do that. And then you have Niang playing the Garrison Matthews defense, standing in the paint. I showed y'all 4 different, almost consecutive shots where Niang just leaves his man in the corner and his man hits a 3 every single time. Again, he gave up 15 threes in this game alone. We lost this game 121 to 105, guys. 15 points off of threes from one guy. Trae gave up a 3. Mo G gave up 2 threes in his little bit of minutes, gave up 10 points. Congo gave up 2 threes. Dyson gave up a 3. Zach gave up a 3. And LeVert gave up 2 threes. Is 5 threes more than 1 3? You see what I'm saying? The math ain't mathing for y'all. It's a cumulative job to lose a game. It's a cumulative job to win a game. But if you want to continue to try to point everything on one person, you got to show it. And that's what I'm doing. If Trae Young was the one who gave up 30 points in this game, we will find out. Because I can't avoid it because I'm going shot for shot. I've been doing this for 2 years now, this particular type of game review. I'm going shot for shot. I'm also breaking down points in the paint given up, fast break points, second chance points. How many threes did we give up? What's the percentage? What did the other best players on the other team do? What did all of our players do cumulatively? Watch from the beginning, go through it. You can do it yourself. You go to NBA.com and click on play-by-play. I just happen to do it for you. We lost this game needlessly in a game we needed after losing that game against the Dallas Mavericks on April 6th by 2 points because we refused to double team Anthony Davis, which was ridiculous. And we let him get the last shot at the end of the game. Trae Young wasn't on the floor then either. But you blame Trae Young somehow. We left 40 points on the board from him passing the ball to people, and they missed all of their shots. All of their shots in the game, he had 12 assists in. They missed 15 more shots that he generated. But it's Trae's fault. Let me see what this person says before I log off of here. ATL is playing zone on several of those defensive situations. Really? You really think that was zone? First of all, the Hawks don't know how to play zone defense. The Hawks don't know how to play zone defense, which I've shown that plenty of times. And guess what? If you're playing zone defense and it don't work, guess what? Stop playing zone defense. But that's not zone defense. People just ain't where they're supposed to be. To try to make up an excuse to excuse Niang for giving up 5 threes in the game doesn't make sense. Sorry, it don't. You can't do that. You can't do that. Because this is game after game after game after game. We lost 24 games by 10 points or less, primarily because of that right there. What y'all saw. I showed it to you in this game right here. Let me pull this picture up again. I showed it to you. Where's this picture? This game right here. We were playing zone all 73 points of that game too, huh? No, we weren't. Sorry, we didn't. And we only double teamed that young man 4 times out the whole game, and really just 3, because the 4th one wasn't a double team. It wasn't. We can't keep pretending that players are playing defense when they're not, that they're staying with their man when they're not. There is no communication on the floor, and it's evident, and it's apparent, and it's easy to see, and it's easy to hear because you don't hear anything. You hear other teams talk on defense, but not our team, because everybody always has their head around. They don't know. They turn their whole back to their player. Like, where is that cool? I've said this before. I could never get away with this on the court. If I did half of what you see that the Atlanta Hawks team does on a nightly basis, I would never get picked up. I've been getting picked up for 30 plus years now on the basketball court. 30 plus years. Okay? Because they know I'm going to fight through a screen. They know on the pick and roll, I'm going to engage the shooter. They know that I'm going to set screens. They know I'm a rebound. They know I'm going to block shots. They know if I got to score in the post, I can do that. And they know if I can hit an open shot, I can do that too. But they know I'm not going to make mistakes on defense, though. They know that. Because if I did, I would, man, Chris on guard tonight. He don't look like he can move tonight. Yeah, Chris looking kind of slow tonight. That's not what they do. I'm going to call out that screen. I'm going to call it out. Say, I got your man. Hey, switch back. We talk. We let each other know. That's what we were doing Saturday at the tournament. we decided at the beginning of the next game we played, hey, are we going to stay with man or switch? Are we going to switch on particular possessions or particular situations or whatever? Or are you going to call it out, stay with your man? We don't need to switch. I got it. If you call my screen coming through, I can get through it. I'm not going under. If I go under, I'm leaving my man in the open. I'm leaving my teammate in trouble, especially if it's a big. See, we had a mismatch yesterday. I'm just going through I'm doing a little bit of Saturday afternoon basketball video now. But we had a mismatch because our fourth or sub, I should say, is like 1.5 feet shorter than me. So if I came out, whoever was the big on the other team, that's where they went. There was nothing he could do. But I had to come out because I'm the oldest out there, and we didn't have enough people on our team. So eventually I had to come out and get a little bit of rest because I ain't trying to pass out there. You see what I'm saying? So they went right at that particular weakness just because of the height difference. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to do. But when I get back out there, my man ain't scoring. My man, for 3 games that we played, my man scored what? I'm trying to think. The only time my man scored is if I did get picked off of the man. Okay? Which happened like 2 or 3 times. Then they hit a shot. But with me guarding them, they didn't score. Because I'm not leaving my man. I'm not turning my back and finding out what's going on. I don't care what's going on behind me. I let my teammates handle that until I actually have to be involved, because now here's somebody trying to screen me off my guy. Now we got to decide in a split second, I got to fight through, or we just go ahead and switch. If they don't attack the mismatch, we can switch back. Because guess what? Some people don't always attack the mismatch sometimes. They swinging the ball, they're trying to do something else or whatever. Guess what? We got a chance to switch back, right? The Hawks don't do any of that any other time, and I've shown it through hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of video over the last 2 seasons. Well, 2.5 seasons, okay? Plus extra games I throw in there. The Hawks have to get someone on that bench that knows what they're doing and cares about the defense. Those timeouts that Quinn Snyder be calling don't do nothing. He don't say, there's nothing he can say or do to prove that he knows what he's doing on defense. That anybody on that bench cares, because they go right back out there and the Yang is still in the same place. He's in the paint. It's an illegal defense. You see what I'm saying? He's not guarding nobody and don't care. He's pretending to play defense. That's what Garrison Matthews does. That's why he gives up so many threes in games. He pretends to play defense. I showed you that in that Dallas game. It was abhorrent what Garrison Matthews was doing on that court. Do I have the notes pulled up for that? I might have them up. Let me see if I can pull them up real quick. Is this it? I think so. Trae had 29 and 11 in that game. Niang was 1 of 5 in the fourth quarter in that particular game. Zach was 1 of 11 from the floor, 0 of 7 from 3 in that particular game in 15 minutes. Gay had 3 points in 15 minutes in that game. Dyson in 44 had 11 points in that game. That we lost by, not a lot, right? Wait a minute, that's the Heat game. My fault. That was the overtime. My bad. So the Dallas game, April 2nd, we lost 120 to 118. AD had 34 points, 15 boards, and 5 blocks. Dallas had 48 points in the paint. So here's the actual numbers. So Zach was 4 of 11 from the floor. Muhammad Gay was 5 of 13 from the floor in that particular game. Hawks had 42 points in the paint, that is. 8 second chance points, 13 fast break points. We gave up 20 fast break points in that particular game. They hit 15 threes, Dallas did, in that particular game. We lost that game by 2 points, though. I hope y'all watch that review. It's deep. It's deep. And in fact, that's what I was looking for. Okongwu gave up 35 points in that game. That one game, he gave up 35 points in that game. 35. Trae gave up 13. Harris gave up 12. Okongwu gave up 35 points in one game, but it was Trae's fault. Explain that. April 2nd. Go watch. It's on around the ATL. It's up. And again, Trae Young didn't give up 73 points to Luka January of last year. He didn't give up 63, 53, 43, 33, or 23 points in that game. Showed y'all that. Trae Young is not the reason we lose these games because of his defense and his defense alone. Yeah, sure. Again, Trae is not the best defender, but he's not the worst defender on our team. First 2 seasons, you could say that. You could definitely say that, but not since then, because he's gotten better on defense as the numbers prove it. And the people who are supposed to be good at defense can't prove that at all, because ain't nobody getting first or second team all defense, or no one getting any defensive player of the year consideration until now. Who's that person? Dyson Daniels. When people say, oh, well, you can't play defense next to Trae Young. Well, Dyson Daniels has proved it in his first full season as a starter, almost was defensive player of the year, won most improved, led the league in steals and deflections and defensive playmaking. And the person who's supposed to have been the best player never led our own team in defensive categories, never was considered defensive player of the year, never made it to first or second team all defense. What was holding them back? Nothing. I'm talking about Hunter, of course, who averaged 10.9 points in the playoffs this year, by the way. Are the Cavs still in the playoffs right now? But anyway, so again, the next game I will be reviewing, because I'm about to get off of here. Got to go. The next game is going to be, that's the Dallas notes. The next game I will be reviewing in order for the end of this season, the end of the 2024 season, is Utah Jazz, April 6th. So be looking out for that. And again, remember, in that streak, we played Orlando 3 times. We needed all 3 of those too. I'm going to show y'all how we lost them. Again, you can go back and watch the other games I've reviewed over the last few weeks. The 73-point game by Luka, which I also added the overtime period from the Miami play-in. Go watch that. Go see how the Miami Heat scored 17 points in overtime. Go watch it. You know what? I actually can show you some of it. Let me see if I have it. I don't think I deleted it. I might have, but I might not have. Let's see. I think I did. Okay, I did. So you just got to go watch that yourself. But I'll be doing the whole game soon. So, tune in for that. But as we get ready to go into the off season, as the playoffs continue to kind of mosey along, there's a lot of, potential trade stuff out there. Giannis is the biggest one. I keep telling people to think that Giannis can't help the team, you're crazy or you're drunk or something. I don't know. Career 25 and 10 player, combine him with another career 25 and 10 player, that would be pretty good. You see what I'm saying? It'd be pretty good. And no, you don't have to gut your team if you do it right. Somebody say, well, you got to gut the whole team. No, not really. No, you don't. You can figure out a way if you want to. But to not even try to get them, again, would be irresponsible. Someone did agree with me about that, at least. Okay? But there's moves that are out there that can be made. There's moves that have to be made. We got to get a backup point guard. We haven't had one in 7 seasons. That's crazy. We need another defender on the wing. I just showed you why on the bench. I just showed you why. Right? We need size. What did Bob say? We're just too small. How many years are we going to keep having that be said about the Atlanta Hawks? We're the smallest team in the league. When are we going to get some size? When are we going to get some brute strength, knocking some people down every now and again? I can block you out with one pinky finger or whatever, right? We need that. And sure, we could get another shooter, I guess, if it gets down to it. But really what we need to do is just lessen the points we give up. We give up 119 points. We score 118 points. We score enough. We are 5th in the league in scoring. Let's score. Let's stop some scoring. Let's stop some scoring. Let's go from 119 to, I don't know, 115 a game. Let's start small if we got to, but let's knock 10 points off. Because if we did that, the 24 losses that we have by 10 points or less wouldn't be possible anymore. We'd be a 50-win team every season. We will be a 50-win team each season. Go back the last 7 seasons and look how many points we give up compared to how many points we score. I've brought this up before. I've done a whole episode on it before. Go look. Go look at some past episodes of Around the ATL, or you go look at it yourself. But if we just stopped a few extra points here and there, I just showed you Liang giving up 15 threes in one game in 25 less minutes, folks. Like, come on. We should have won this game against the Knicks. We should have beat them. They weren't doing anything spectacular. Anyway, let me get out of here. Make sure y'all check out the next episode coming up on Around the ATL. Make sure you subscribe to the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page. It's been scrolling there the whole night. I'm going to get out of here. Y'all take care. And hopefully we'll get to talk again soon. Till next time. Peace. Oh, by the way, before I leave, yes, I know I have to change the beginning of the intro of the show because we got people who are no longer on certain teams. I do know that. I got to switch some stuff out. I hadn't had time to do that. The Atlanta Dream had some changes. I got to change that. Falcons, obviously, some other teams and stuff like that. I will get on it when I can. But until then, talk to y'all later. Peace.